Good morning in the Americas, good evening in Asia, good afternoon in Europe and Africa. It's exactly 4 p.m. here in Nairobi on this very last day, or rather last Friday of January 2026. Welcome to the broadcast. My name is Jamie Bogo. Let's get you informed on some of the stories making headlines across the country. Now, the united opposition has given the government a 2-week ultimatum to arrest and prosecute persons involved in the attack on former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua last Sunday in Witima, Othaya in Nyeri County. Failure to which they say they will mobilize Kenyans for a nationwide demonstration against the Inspector General of Police Douglas Kanja. Speaking after a meeting with IG Kanja, where they lodged their complaints, the leaders condemned the use of goons and police officers to crack down on dissent. In a letter addressed to the National Security Council, the leaders said Gachagua's life was at risk following the incident.
We have told the IG that before we come back on the 16th, those members of that unit need to be arrested and disarmed and taken to court, and he must give that assurance. And we have said that if this situation continues after 16th, hatutakuwa na lingine la kufanya ni kuitisha maandamano katika Jamhuri ya Kenya until Kipchumba Murkomen is removed from office, IG Kaja is removed from office, and the 2 DIGs are removed from office, and the National Police Service can be put back into order.
If you touch any national leader and assassinate any national leader a few months to the next general election, this country will never be the same again.
Now, President William Ruto has committed to compensate the families that lost their kin in what he says was the push to have a democratic country. Speaking in Kisumu on Friday, the president hailed the victim of the protest as patriots. The High Court had in December nullified the panel of experts on compensation of victims of demonstration and public protest, saying that the mandate lies with the Kenya Commission on Human Rights. President Ruto was speaking in Kisumu, where he attended a graduation ceremony toward the Kanyakwar Affordable Housing Project before holding a brief rally at Kondele.
Wale walipoteza maisha yao, wale walipata majeraha, serikali ya Kenya, hii serikali mimi naongoza, tutawalipa fidia. Nyinyi mkae chonjo, hata kama wale walienda kotini, mimi nitahakikisha ya kwamba kila mmoja wenu aliyepoteza maisha yake ama aliyejeruhiwa akipigania mambo ya demokrasia ya taifa letu la Kenya, mambo ya human rights ya taifa letu la Kenya, sisi tutawalipa fidia kwa sababu nyinyi ni mashujaa wa mambo ya demokrasia ya taifa letu la Kenya.
From anarchists to patriots, quite a ton of events there. Now, moving on, Ida Odinga has thanked President William Ruto for appointing her as the ambassador and permanent representative to the United Nations Environment Programme, UNEP, during the presentation of Global Condolence Book for the late Raila Odinga, attended by the PS for Foreign Affairs, Korir Sing'oei, and senior diplomats at her home in Karen. The event marked the beginning of sorts for her official diplomatic service and the state's preservation of Raila Odinga's legacy. Speaking during the event, the PS stated that an annual conference would be held to honor and advance Raila's legacy of democracy, peace and justice. He promised that the government will support the family in its bid to establish a museum at Kango Kajaramogi in honor of the late Prime Minister.
Then to invite a representative observed. Your Excellency, millions of Kenyans and people around the world who believed in...
It's grateful to His Excellency, the President William Samoei Ruto, the President of the Republic of Kenya, for appointing me to this position of being ambassador of UNEP. Thank you so much, because I think it's a great honor, and I'll do it with all my knowledge, my capacity, and knowing very well that I'm representing our great country, Kenya.
In addition to the sets being handed over to the family today, additional sets of these bound volumes will be placed at the Kenya National Archives, the Kenya National Library Service, the Foreign Affairs Library, and the Foreign Affairs Gallery domiciled at Uhuru Gardens National Monument and Museum.
Now, the registrar of political parties, John Lorionokou, is pushing for a change in party structures that he says will strengthen and improve the pillars of democracy. Speaking in Machakos County during the launch of a new office that will serve in the lower eastern region, Lorionokou says politicians have been using the gaps in legislation to shift alliances from one party to another after the general election. He is proposing a raft of measures that his office says will cure the problem and build democracy in political parties.
Strengthen political party compliance with the Act, build capacity, history and coordination, support to county institutions, FBOs to promote peaceful.
The PWDs are normally forgotten and they are not included. And I'm speaking like that because in the County Assembly of Machakos, we don't have a PWD. What we have are other people who have come on board and taken up those positions and taken up the position of PWD, and they are called the marginalized. I don't know who the marginalized are.
To make that inclusion count, do not be a member of a party to take a box. Do not be a member of an organ of a party to take a box. Be a member of a party to make a difference. That is the only way we can then work our way out. They can include all the women, but if those who include the women do not rise to the level of taking up responsibility, of showing up to those positions, then we will just take a box that makes no difference.
Now, moving on, Kenya Kwanza leaders from the Western region have expressed their intentions to woo Governor George Natembeya to support the government's development agenda in Trans Nzoia County, saying unity among leaders is key to fast-tracking development and delivering services. The leaders said they have launched a public sensitization campaign to inform residents about the ongoing and planned government projects aimed at improving livelihoods across the county. They have also urged opposition leaders to avoid politics of hatred and focus on development-driven agenda as the country moves closer to the next general election.
Komanda pia yuko nasi. Nafasi itakuwa ya wananchi, naita timu yangu wakuja mbele.
Barabara phase 2 kuanzia hapa Barberton iende paka Endebess, Saboti iconnect paka kwa Mheshimiwa Bokose iingie uende Uganda. Hiyo si story. Contractor amekuwa identified, hiyo barabara inaenda kuingia.
Simutaka kuona rais. Simulimupigia kura. Rais assured he is going to come himself. Na kabla hajakuja akasema kuna miradi yakikuja kulaunch na zile zinafanya nini, zinaendelea. Si mnataka maendeleo?
Serikali kuu tunataka kusikiza vile mwananchi anasema na tuone solution gani tunaweza toa kwa shida zenu ili tuweze kutembea pamoja safari ya Singapore, musibaki nyuma.
Now, moving on, where 3 suspected livestock thieves have been killed by angry residents in Mimea area, Mukaa sub-county in Makueni County. The suspects believed to be father, son and son-in-law, together with 2 others, were caught transporting 2 cows that had been stolen. Angry residents descended on them, beating them mercilessly, leaving the 3 dead while burnt, while 1 was seriously injured, while another managed to escape.
Ukilala unaamsha mtoto achunge ng'ombe na ni mali yako. Hao watu wametusumbua sana na kwa hakika leo we are very grateful to our God. Wameshikwa na wameangamizwa.
Ni kurudisha shukrani kwa wanakijiji hicho cha kwakea na raia wote kwa sababu wameshughulikia hiyo jambo ipasavyo na wakashika hao wezi.
Naomba wananchi wa Kimakiu, wa Kilome, wa Makueni waweze kushirikiana na idara ya polisi ndio tuweze kupeana information kwa wale wahalifu wenye wanawajua, wenye tunaishi na wao, ndio tusiweze kupata vitendo kama hizi.
Kile tunaomba wananchi ni kuwa visa kama hivi wajaribu pia kutochukua sheria mikononi mwao, lakini ikiwa hii ni njia mojawapo ya kukomesha wizi sehemu hii, basi wezi ni vizuri wajue wananchi pia wameshikana na serikali kuhakikisha visa hivi vinaisha pande hii.
Now, police in Gatundu South were forced to shoot in the air to disperse a crowd after chaos erupted at the Gatundu South Deputy County Commissioner's DCC's office on Thursday. The chaos erupted during a food distribution exercise organized by the Principal Secretary for Correctional Services, Salome Beako, to support vulnerable families during the ongoing drought. Hundreds of widows and widowers were forced to scramble for the relief food in the commotion. Out of desperation, the beneficiaries were forced to collect mixed grain from the ground, an incident that left many humiliated and others returning home empty-handed. According to the PS, the government is working to roll out irrigation projects across the country to enable farmers to grow food without relying on rainfall alone. Lack of proper crowd control has also been blamed for the unfortunate incident.
The meteorological department forecasted that the short rains were not going to be sufficient, and indeed very many crops have failed. And because of that, His Excellency the President, having that care and concern for the most vulnerable, encouraged us as officers to come down to the ground and help those who are vulnerable because the rains were not sufficient.
The Nairobi County Government has unveiled a Liquor Pay, a fully automated digital platform set to transform liquor licensing in the capital by eliminating manual bureaucracy and delivering faster, more transparent services. According to the County Executive for Business and Hustler Opportunities, Dr. Anastasia Nyalita, the platform will remove long-standing bottlenecks in licensing, making the process easier for those operating liquor businesses in the county. Now, the digital platform is set to fully automate the process through a contactless system from application and inspection to payment and approval. The system is designed to support entrepreneurs by saving time and allowing them to focus on their businesses.
As Mike have said, from the word go, we have been listening to you people.
What they do and the roles they play in the board. So I'll start with Bwana Frank. Karibu sana.
Asante, good morning. My name is...
Over 10,000 liquor businesses out there are operating without licenses. Yeah? So we have to allow ourselves to comply. We have put this thing in the hands of the business owner. It is no longer, you can no longer say, the reason I'm not compliant is because kanjo this, kanjo that, committee this, committee that. It is in your hands. At the minimum, you should have a provisional license. At the minimum. Because that is completely in your hands. Hatuingilili hapo mahali. Unaingia kwa portal yako, una apply na ndio uko na provisional license.
This is a game changer. This is a revolution. This is a gift to the bar owners of Nairobi and the whole ecosystem. But today we've seen great delivery. This will greatly help us in terms of reduction in the cost of business, time, enhance integrity, and also efficiency, because this is the future. Digitalization is the future.
Now, women under Eco Network Africa have decried the worsening state of security in the country and condemned those who are perpetrating violence. The women singled out the Othaya Church attack, which they condemned, saying places of worship are sacred and must be respected at all times. The women leaders have expressed concerns about the increasing incidence of violence in general and gender-based violence, GBV, in particular. They have also expressed concerns about what they term as mishandling of competence-based education.
We have asked the presidency and the leadership of this country that the bursaries that we are having that are scattered all over, we have bursaries from the presidential to the MCA, that they can be consolidated in one bursary so that our children can be able to go to school.
We also wish to highlight other forms of subtle GBV that sometimes can be ignored or silenced. For example, number one, the curtailing of freedom of expression. It is sad that the 2025 protests did have a ton of sexual violence. We demand that there will be protection of women candidates and that there would be provision of security.
Now, Citizen TV has been featured, cementing it as one of the region's most trusted and distinguished media houses for consistent delivery of quality, reliability and excellence. The award was presented on Thursday night at a Nairobi hotel during the launch of the 9th volume of Super Brands East Africa under the theme Reserved for Legends, highlighting Citizen TV's impact as one of the as part of a global program that operates in 90 countries.
Council member with us tonight, and a very famous Kenyan photojournalist. An inspiring future generation in Kenya. But like I said, we'd like to...
Okay, Super Brands is a global independent authority on branding. We operate in 90 countries around the world, including East Africa. The same is happening for Citizen TV today as well. In our survey, Citizen TV has repeatedly scored very high, in fact in the top 10, including Citizen Radio. We look forward to having a long-term relationship with yourselves and to many years of you going up in the top 10.
Wouldn't receive this award without our viewers, so we thank you, our viewers, for staying tuned. We thank you, our colleagues across our clients as well, and congratulate you who have also been awarded. So ours is a promise to continue providing you with quality information that you can trust, and high-end content across entertainment, information and education. And this is across all our platforms. The 3 television stations, Citizen TV, Inoro TV, Ramogi TV, and our 13 radio stations, all leading in their areas of broadcast, Radio Citizen, Hot 96, and our vernacular stations. And of course, our digital platforms, Citizen Digital and Viusasa, and all the rest. We want to say thank you, Kenya, for making us #1.
Indeed, thank you, Kenyans, for making us #1. And here is that award that we won. Thank you for watching once again. My name is Jimmy Mbogo. Do have a lovely weekend ahead.